What's up, Montrose? Very excited to be here. This is the first Motown Knows episode that we have. It's been a long time coming. We've been working on this all year. I remember back earlier this year with the Montrose Daily Press staff here, we were thinking, what's another way we can directly communicate with the community and get them to hear directly from local leaders and such. And this is something that we came up with. It's a conversation series and podcast. And we're just really happy to be here and have it launched tonight. And thanks for everyone for tuning in as well. And before we get started, just want to give a big shout out to Delta Montrose Electric Association. They're supporting us with this venture. So big shout out to the folks over there for helping us out with this. And really just want to get right into it. We're talking local football tonight. Montrose High School football, to be exact. They started their season last week. The first home game is tomorrow, and I'm really happy to be joined by Ethan Hartman. He's a senior running back on the football team here at Montrose High School, and Austin Griffin. He's also a senior. He's a fullback on the football team here, and they did a great job last week. Both scored a pair of touchdowns for Montrose. And really just wanted to get started, guys. I understand you just finished a team dinner tonight, and really just want to get to know what's that like for the team. What does that do for you guys before a game? The camaraderie. I know you guys can talk football. You can talk you don't have to talk football either. You just connect, kind of enjoy, one another's company before a big game. So I'll start with you, Ethan. What does the team dinner do for you, and how does it help you kind of get ready for a big game tomorrow?
Well, these team dinners, they're really fun. We all actually look forward to them before every game each week, and it's just a great time for us to get to know each other better. There's 100-some kids on the team, so we're not all best friends, obviously, but it's a great time to hang out, eat together, and then our coaches give us a good word of, they call it a man builder, of just stuff they think will help us become better men later on in lives. So.
And you, Austin? How is it for you?
Yeah, man builders are really a special thing. We always have, like Ethan said, we always have a coach talk, which is always awesome because they have obviously a lot more life experience than we do. So it's really cool to learn their take on life and just kind of see how we can better ourselves as men, as well as get along better as a team because, like they say, football is the ultimate team sport and you can't do it without a team. So it's really important to be close as a team, and I think that those team dinners really hit home for that.
And that really showed last week in the 46-6 win against Central, playing at Stoker, of course. Big packed stadium. It's always packed, especially now that restrictions are lifted somewhat. So, and I'll go right back to you, Austin. How was it being back at Stoker, full capacity? You got the Montrose fans there and the Grand Junction Central fans there. What was that like being out there with that kind of atmosphere?
It was awesome. It's such a great turnaround from last year when we were so shut down, whereas this year it's so exciting to be back to normal and to have full stadiums, and it really feels like football again. It's really exciting, and like you say, it's awesome to have packed stadiums. It's awesome to see all the people that are excited to watch us play.
And Ethan, you scored a couple touchdowns actually last week. One of them was a 57-yard touchdown that Bridger was able to find you and get you in the end zone there. What's it like playing at Stoker for you? I mean, it's a big stadium, big atmosphere, a big platform to kind of show off your skills and do well for your squad.
Oh yeah, it definitely is a really fun place. That's one of my favorite stadiums across Colorado that I've ever played in. And it was great to have so many people from Montrose make the trip up there to see us play and see us perform and see what we could do as a team. And I'm glad we were able to put on a good game for them. And it means a lot that they're all out there to support us.
And Ethan, for you, you've been able to play running back since you've been on the Montrose team. And in 2013, you said running around is just something I really love to do. You said that at a Montrose youth football camp. Was running back always something you envisioned? Did you feel destined to play that position?
Well, I mean, like you said, I've been playing this sport since as long as I could remember, really, and I wouldn't say that running back's always been what I envisioned, but I'm always up for whatever I could do for the team. Whatever is the best position to help go win games. That's where I'm going to be and where I'm going to play. I just make sure to give 100% effort whenever and wherever I can.
And Austin, for you, last season, I was able to talk with you and your brother Blake about playing on the same team together at the same time, even scoring touchdowns in the same game, which, is pretty surreal to be able to do that with a sibling and just have that success together. So, if you could just touch again upon being able to play with him and, do that last year and, you'll be able to do it again this year. Maybe even at the same time, and maybe again score touchdowns in the same game.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's always really fun to see my brother succeed, especially at such a young age. Not a lot of sophomores get to start on varsity, so that's really exciting. But it's also really special to be able to go home and kind of joke about practice, talk about practice and games, and be able to better each other too, because football's not always just, oh, went great. We got to be able to better ourselves too, which is really nice to have.
And last season, all of you played, everyone on the team played, through a pandemic, some restrictions. And before the season started, there was only like 2 weeks to get prepared. It's a total difference from other seasons where you have a full summer. At what point during the season did you start to think or realize, hey, that short preparation time is starting to have a bit of an effect on us or the team? And even though all of you really grinded it out through the season, you were able to make the playoffs. Was there ever a point in time where you thought, man, this is really having an effect? And I'll start with you, Austin.
I mean, I think we realized it, but I think that we were determined to succeed. I think that we knew that it wasn't the best of circumstances, but I think that we knew that we had to make the best of it because, as you have every year, that's the seniors' last chance to play. So we wanted to make it as good as we could for them and just really work as hard as we could with what we had.
What did you get from that kind of preparation time too, Ethan? Was there a point in time for you where you started to realize something similar that Austin did?
Well, personally, it came immediately for me. Our offense requires a lot of really fine-tuned details to perform right, and we just didn't have the time to get that done. But that didn't stop us from giving it our best effort and making do with what we had. And like Austin said, it was the seniors their last year, so we did the best we could to help them go win games and just give them the best year they could. But in all honesty, it wasn't horrible. It didn't affect us more than you might think it did.
Despite those challenges, both of you were still able to have a two-way role pretty much on the team, playing some offense and playing some defense. So, for you, Ethan, is that two-way role, is that something that's kind of gradually become something natural for you, doing it for so many years, or is it something that still presents some challenges when you're out there?
Well, it definitely has gotten easier the more I've done it, but it is pretty physically tasking, going a whole game, playing both sides of the ball. You really have to be in great physical shape to be able to do it, but that's what the team needed out of both Austin and I and others. But we just were able to get out there and do our best the whole game.
How is it for you, Austin? What kind of adjustments do you see yourself making most of the time on that end, or is it something that just kind of clicks for you now?
Kind of like Ethan said, it's not easy to play both ways in a full football game. It gets tiring, but that's the reason that we work as hard as we do in the weight room, and that football kind of never ends. We go year round through the summer all the time because we know that we have to be in top physical shape to play as hard as we can for that long. So it's never easy, but I think we get pretty well prepared for it.
Another thing that doesn't seem easy, it doesn't look easy, is playing at Montrose High School in front of the fans, in front of the lights, packed stadium, super loud. You have to be on your A game. For people that aren't able to go to the games or haven't been able to step on the field and play, how would you best describe coming out of the locker room? You got the flags, everyone's hyped, you got the fans cheering you on. How would you best describe that, Ethan, being in that atmosphere, coming out and seeing all those fans just cheering you on, rooting for you, rooting for a local school to win the game?
Well, really, there's no other feeling like it. You definitely get like a chill coming over your body, and really your adrenaline's pumping, and you just go out there and kind of live in the moment at the time. Um, it's definitely a lot of pressure, but if you do, we know what we can do and what we have to do, and we could go out and do it, regardless if there's a full crowd of people or no one there at all. But it is a great feeling.
Awesome. You've had your fair share of opportunities to come out of that locker room and see the crowd and see everyone get hyped. What's it like for you?
It's absolutely awesome. It's one of the best feelings in the world. We talk about this all the time about how Montrose is the best town to play football for because we're the only high school and everybody rallies behind us. And it's really a full town thing. It's not just a football team out there. It's the town of Montrose out there rooting for us, and it's absolutely awesome. It's like I say, it's the best feeling in the world.
I imagine both of you felt a really good feeling too last season when you played Fruta at Stoker and won 28-27 on that last minute stop to Fruta. Everyone was really getting jacked, and those rivalry games are always super hyped. Everyone's really looking forward to them. I mean, even the fans get into it, but sometimes you guys do head to the Front Range and play some really top 4A teams that have big crowds too. So how would you compare playing in those rivalry games against Fruta or a Central and compared to maybe playing like a Palmer Ridge or a Ponderosa, teams like that on the Front Range? How would you compare those atmospheres, Ethan?
I would say that I definitely like playing the Front Range teams more just because they tend to offer us a little bit more of a challenge. The rivalry games, it's crazy, like the pressure and then having more people from the home here actually getting to come up and see. But all in all, it's still playing football. Like we do the same thing no matter where we're at. Um, but I would, that's a tough question to answer. But it's still football. It's still just doing the same thing.
How is it for you, Austin?
When we step on that football field, we kind of have a job, no matter who we're playing. But I think it's always definitely, like you said, a different atmosphere going up to Denver or those Front Range teams because they don't want to get beat by the tiny town Montrose. So it's always fun when we give them a game or when we beat them because that's the last thing they want. But it's definitely not quite the same.
I want to jump to being a multi-sport athlete, because I know both of you play multiple sports at Montrose High. You, Austin, you also do track and field, shot put, participate in the shot put, and you, Ethan, you were playing boys lacrosse last season. And there's been a conversation about multi-sport athletes recently. Some people say it's better to focus on one sport, get all the benefits you can, and maximize a collegiate opportunity. Other people say it's better to do multiple sports, learn multiple ways how to play a game, and just kind of expand your horizons for different sports and just learn different understandings, have different teammates. So, I'll start with you, Austin. How is it for you? What is it like being a multi-sport athlete? What's your opinion on that kind of discussion, and where do you fit on that spectrum?
I really think that honestly, track has bettered me a lot for football. In track, I also ran the 100-meter dash, and I didn't run it to win it. I just ran it to get faster, and it made me a whole lot faster for this season. And so I really think that personally, it benefited me a ton. And I think that doing multiple sports does help. I really do.
Ethan, how was it playing football and then being able to play lacrosse too. What's that experience like for you, and what do you think about being a multi-sport athlete today?
I would agree with Austin in saying that each sport complements each other in its own way. Um, you know, Lacrosse and football are two widely different sports, but they both require you to stay in good physical shape. And just to keep your mind, kind of competitive and keep it going in that same direction with sports. I think everyone should play more than one sport, if that's what they want to do. But I think it was great for me personally and definitely bettered myself for this football season.
And in what ways does it help, better you? Is it physical, mental, maybe preparation wise, preparing it maybe in two different ways so you learn different ways to prepare? How is that for you?
I would say a lot of it is physical. Just to keep your body at a baseline of physical performance, I think is great throughout the year. But also, mentally, you still have to compete in those competitive games and really work hard. And it is challenging sometimes. And I think that's something that could really help you out in any sport you play.
I want to move on to, just playing here in Montrose at Montrose High School. Obviously, both of you are in that last season, that final opportunity here at the high school to put in a great record, put in a great season for the team. And, when I go to practices, I hear Brett talking a lot about family, kind of being a family, seeing you guys as, another son for him because you guys are so close and you're always spending a lot of time together. So, what's it like having Brett as a coach, and what's he been able to teach you or show you throughout the years as for his time as Montrose head coach? Austin?
I really think that this football team is a family, and I think there's no doubt about that. From the minute you walk in as a freshman to the day you graduate as a senior, it is a football family, and Coach Mertens is an awesome head coach. And I've had a lot of different coaches, obviously, through my whole football career, from flag football up, and I think that Coach Mertens he's a really good coach, and he's really, really good at bringing a football team together and bringing a group of strangers together and turning them into a family.
What's that dynamic been like for you, Ethan?
Personally, I think Mr. Mertens is one of the best coaches I've ever had. He has a special way of bringing out the best in all of us, and I can't tell you what it is, but just the way he coaches and the way he reads situations. He really helps us perform just the best we possibly can in a situation. And I think he came into Montrose 5 or 6 years ago, and ever since then, the seasons we have has kind of reflected his coaching and having multiple playoff runs throughout that time.
Yeah, what's it like, being able to be there with him at practice? How do those practices go? It seems like you guys really get after it and do as much preparation you can to do your best on Fridays.
We go as hard as we can when we need to, and we definitely have when there's a time for that as well. But the week up until a Friday night game, it's business for us. We have a job we got to get done, and we know that if we don't prepare for it the right way, we're not gonna perform on Friday night.
Austin, what makes football such a special game for you to play?
I mean, it's definitely, like I said earlier, it's definitely the ultimate team sport, and it takes all 11 guys on the field to succeed. And I think that's what's really, really special about football is you have to have that connection with your teammates. But that's why I love it so much. It is truly a football family, and you have your good days and you have your bad days. You have good games and bad games. But those kids that are on your football family, they're never gonna change. They're always there for you.
All right, I want to hit you both with some fun questions here. I want to hear what your answers are to these. So I'll start with you, Ethan. Do you have a favorite current or past NFL player?
My favorite would be Peyton Manning. I've always loved him. I've loved the way he played the game, and sad to see him retire, but he has been my favorite.
What makes him your favorite? Are you a Broncos fan?
Well, first of all, yeah, that is part of it, but I've liked him even back when he played on the Colts. So I think he's just a great guy, a great role model for me, especially being a young football player back when.
What about you, Austin? Favorite current or past NFL player?
I have to go old school. I got to go old mean Joe Green. He's my favorite. Just watching him play, just way back when, just watching him go hit people. That's the funnest thing I've ever watched.
All right, next one. Best football memory on the field. It can be high school, middle school, either one. We'll start with you again, Ethan. Any memories that stand out for you?
Oh man, that's a pretty tough one, but I think some of my favorite memories, and I can't tell you one specifically, but some of my favorites came from playing middle school football, and especially going head to head actually against Austin and some others like Bodie in the Columbine and Centennial game. I remember that just being the highlight of my life for years.
What is that rivalry like? I remember it a little bit. You know, you got Columbine Centennial, and then you play that final game of the season over at the Montrose High School field. And when you do that, you feel like you're playing in the biggest stadium of all because you're used to playing on those fields with a little bit of fans on the sides. What do you remember most about that rivalry, Austin?
I remember that you build up to that all year. That's what you're excited for. You talk trash to the other school all year. That was probably the most typed up game we had, and it was absolutely awesome to step foot on that field in the lights and to get to play that game.
Do either of you remember who won that game?
Centennial won it. I'll never forget that.
I'm not proud of it, but yeah, they did.
You remember the score? Maybe not, but maybe it wasn't too much of a beating, yeah?
No, it was close, I think.
It was a good game.
It was
both years, actually.
Yeah.
Did either of you score in it?
I scored one time against them.
They weren't letting me run the rock yet. I was down there snapping it.
Oh, right on. All right, next one for you. Obviously, the mascot's going to change. It's going to go away from Indians to another one. So any ideas what you guys would want? What do you want to see as the next mascot, Ethan? Anything that pops out?
You know, really, I haven't had much time to think about that. I couldn't say I have any ideas, but what I can say is that I'm bummed to see the Indians go. It's just something that I think was a tradition in this town. But no, I don't have any suggestions. I'd have to think about it.
Any potential next mascots on your mind, Austin?
I don't know. I mean, I really hope they keep something with the Montrose name because it's a legacy. Like Ethan said, it's going to be sad to watch the Indians go, but I hope they keep something that really stays close because we got a strong legacy here in Montrose, and I really hope that we can maintain that a little bit.
All right, and the last one for you both. Obviously, everyone usually has pregame routines or a pregame process. I know a lot of athletes. When I was playing there, I had my own. I would jump over the line on the baseball field, the white line, to make sure I just would have a good day at the plate. So, do you guys have one? Is there a pregame routine process that lets you lock in, Ethan?
I think my pregame routine, we kind of actually do it as a team. We meet together and we write down our goals for the game in offense and defense, and then we talk over them. And I think that's the biggest part for me. I mentally can think about what I'm going to do, what I want to do in the game, and it helps me go perform the best I can.
And so it's pretty much similar for you then, right, Austin?
Yeah, the pregame as a team that's how we do it. We don't have a lot of alone time, which is good. I think we need to get ready as a team. You know, we have some some chants and stuff that we do in the locker room that are always really important. We do it before every game. So, we've got some stuff that we, it's kind of our tradition.
Last one before I let you guys go. Tomorrow night, Friday, Fruta, 7 p.m. at the high school. They're really talented, as both of you are. Great rushing attacks on both sides. Ethan, what are you looking forward to? What's your message to the fans? And how are you feeling overall about tomorrow, being able to go out of that locker room and play at Montrose High again?
Well, I'm feeling great about it. Like we've shown in the past, we have a track record of having great games against Fruta that are real nail biters. So it's going to be a good one. I know it's going to be a 4-quarter game, and we're just going to go out and play our game, hopefully minimize mistakes and just do the best we can and have fun with our brothers.
What about you, Austin?
I am absolutely pumped about it. It's always fun playing these rivalry games, and it's always fun to come out on top on those two. And I think we can tomorrow. And like our defensive coach Coach Matlock says, we always got to do our job. And if we do our job tomorrow night, I think we'll come out on top. We'll be just fine.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's going to be really packed tomorrow. It's going to be really loud. I know even from across town, you can hear the football games here, man. They're so loud. They're so rowdy. The fans are always pumped, and you guys are always giving us a good show. So tomorrow night, these guys will be on the field. Look out for them. Running backs, trying to get some rushing yards for Montrose against Fruta. So thanks again, Ethan, Austin, for coming on here, our first Motown Knows episode. We're really glad to launch it. And again, big shout out to DMEA for their support on this venture. We're really glad to have that support. And we'll see you on the next Motown Knows. We'll let you know when that is. So thanks again, Ethan, Austin. Best of luck tomorrow, and best of luck to the Montrose High School football squad. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank you.